Hmm. Mute that so I don't hear myself feeding back. Okay. All right. Let's jump right into this. Where is my monologue? Sorry, one sec. I'm so scatterbrained today. Okay. Here we go. Last we left off, the Wayward Wanderers found themselves wrapped in a complicated mess and at ends with the Zenith Institute. With all of the group, plus more and minus Andros, off in an unknown land, they find themselves in a tumultuous situation. What to do with Dranth? After interrogating him and finding further info in the pages Anxi had nabbed from the Institute, the party are left with more problems than ever before and limited ideas of how to fix them. After a night's rest and teleporting back to Ralhafthird, the group meets up once more at a safe house known as a Grey Zone, a solitary and abandoned house away from prying eyes, a location assigned and used by Andros and his friends in not-so-high places. After meeting together, and none of the group being even slightly aware of the terrifying dream that Andros had, they are introduced to Pinchy, an old friend of Andros's, and begin to ponder what they should do with both Dranth and also Gwen, who is still yet to wake up. Knowing that the Lord of the City and their good friend Spriggett will be at Carnellan's concert tonight, they decide to table the discussion for now and enjoy the night ahead. Wayward Wanderers, I must remind you, every action has a consequence. In this living and breathing world, you are not the only ones capable of action. Whether you choose to act or not, the wheel of time will keep spinning. Being a master of any game involves knowing when to hold, when to fold, when to walk away, and when to run. You must consider carefully everything and choose your battles wisely. For as powerful as you may be, there are many forces more powerful than yourself at play. Wayward Wanderers, what would you like to do?
Not go to the cave anymore.
He's threatening you again.
Yeah.
You guys are currently, let's say you're still at the Grey Zone, probably about to leave. I believe you'd come to some conclusions of who's going to stay and who's going to go.
Cedric's staying.
Oh, Cedric staying. Oh, that's convenient. Okay, good idea.
Obviously. And that's pretty much it. If anyone else wants to stay, they can, but from our team should be Cedric.
Yeah, I guess we'll leave him
The stone.
Contact us.
Yeah. And we should tell him how to use it.
What do you mean? It's a rock.
It's not
I don't see that thumb in that mouth.
What do you mean? It's just a rock.
That's better.
It's a magic rock.
Right. I don't really get it, but you just say I talk into it if I want to speak to you.
Yeah, pretty much. Give it a bit of a rub, it will light up, and then you speak into it. 25 words, and it will come out on the other end on this rock.
Alright. Okay.
And you can only do it once per day, so
Oh.
make sure that when you use it, you're doing it for the right reason.
Oh. So you can't give me like a running commentary with the concerts, yeah?
Sadly, no.
Oh.
I thought you didn't want to go sit.
Well, I don't.
And you didn't care.
Stupid guy, I don't want to go. Anyway.
Hmm.
You lot leave this bastard to me. And
But don't kill him.
Cedric pulls up a chair in the opposite corner of the room to Dranth, sits in it, and stares at him from across the way.
Do we think Sid can count to 25, just in the background?
No.
That's a bit of a stretch, I imagine.
But it's alright. He doesn't have to say all the words for us to know there's trouble.
There's troubled horse.
Exactly.
Before we leave, I'll make a point of casting this on the door.
Alarm, okay. It's placed in place for 8 hours.
Also, before we leave, Shift, have you prepared Pass Without a Trace? Or is it something you have always?
It's not something I always have. It is currently prepared, but I don't have any spell slots.
None at all?
Well, I can use a level 3 spell slot,
No, don't.
but I don't have any level 2s now.
It would be good to be sneaky, but it's probably better to just save your level 3 spell slot.
So you guys gonna be making your way over to the theater?
Yes, but we will try to leave the grey area rather stealthily.
Roll me a group stealth check, those of you that are leaving, to see if you can be noticed leaving this abandoned house.
Ooh.
Are we dressed up?
You can be as dressed up or down as you want, as you like.
I'm just wondering, would I be going with my armor or not?
You should be probably dressed up because it's a theater.
I would imagine so, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all should look rather fancy. I don't know.
You'll need to tell me what I roll.
Why am I the fucking stealthiest currently?
Oh, good.
Okay, so that's a 6, a 4, 16,
Oh,
and
let's go.
22. Okay. The four of you leave the abandoned house and begin to make your way. As you start to slip out, Andros, being the most comfortable with this place, you're the last one to leave. And as you round the door to start to close it, you accidentally kick the door with your foot and make a loud echoing sound. Quickly sliding the door shut. Hoping no
Is
one...
everything alright out there?
Yeah, it's all good. How much damage did I take?
None, you're good.
40. No.
Can we look around to see whether anyone's noticed us?
A roll a perception check.
Thank you. Alright.
Oh, it's going to be one of those sessions, is it? Okay.
Great start, team. I see nothing.
Actually, you're pretty confident. You don't see anyone. Andros with a 13, you do notice someone who's in their home, like a house or two down, who from the inside of their house just sort of like peeked in your direction and then carried about and went about their business.
I guess noise in the surround isn't really a strange occurrence.
Even just in the small amount of time from when you've banged your foot, there's been like 8 other bangs and several screams heard from other places of the scrounge, albeit much further away, but still happening nonetheless.
Okay, as we get out of sight of where we came from as well, I will use Alter Self to disguise myself as Levant.
Okay.
Everyone's just turning into Levant.
Not just 2 people.
There's 2 people more than he's used to.
In a fairly fancy looking suit.
Nice.
Oh,
Of
Levant,
course,
you look
of course.
great.
I think so too.
So, Levant, Anxi, Baylor, and Zinni, you begin to make your way over to the Ralhafted Theatre. Knowing the night that awaits you, but not quite all that it will entail, you take a gentle stroll. Are you going to be making this along the main road out, or are you going to be dodging in between the side streets?
If we go by the main road, can I count that as a short rest?
Hmm.
If you're trying to be stealthy, that would probably.
I think
no,
stealth is
I
just
would-
leaving the building, right? So
Okay.
Yeah, it's just leaving the building. I mean, along the main road, wouldn't we just be walking along normally?
yeah, if you're taking along the main road and you take it at a nice gentle pace, I will allow you to consider it a short rest, given that it will take about like an hour and a half to 2 hours for you to walk to the theatre.
Everyone good with that?
Just a question.
Hmm.
Have we let Spriggett know that we have his ticket sorted?
I think he would expect us to have it. But well, no, we haven't. We haven't
Given
spoken
how
to him.
excited he was, he's probably going to be waiting outside.
Yeah, and we have a ticket for him because I have 5 of them, so we're gonna be fine.
All right.
But
So,
Dax asking us whether we want to go the normal way or in the
yeah.
that's
I was
kind
just
of
thinking
making me
before we
scared.
answer that.
So, I mean, you guys can be ready if you want, but I'm just going to walk slowly, down the main road.
Yeah, it's fine for you. You won't have consequences.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be the problem
Well,
possibly because if we're gonna
Okay, I can disguise myself as like a random person instead. if that
you
helps.
should probably because if we go the main road we might run into the rest of the
Oh, that would be so funny.
the rest of the guys, and it would be very funny for them to see you with us and know that you're basically outered.
Okay, I will just disguise myself as a random person, not too fancy looking.
Okay.
I just want for short rest. I've got no spell slots, so
Yeah, fair. Warlock things.
But we should go together no matter what, so let's go the main road together, and if something happens he won't be alone.
Okay.
But, also, Baylor, could you heal me as well? Or anyone who can heal?
Wait, Shift, have you taken a long rest after the whole thing?
Yeah, but then we travelled here. We did
Pass without a trace we did for sure
Pass Without
once.
a Trace.
Enhance ability you
I did
casted.
Enhance Ability.
Yeah, it's been a
I think he
while.
cast Pass That Trace twice.
I
Ugh.
think I cast it twice here. I can heal Andros. I'll do a little cure wounds.
I've got over 14 damage taken. That helps.
Anyone's got any bandages?
I've got a potion, but I don't really want to use
Okay.
it.
There
Is
we
that
go.
right?
I was joking.
That's 2 1s. 2d4 plus 4.
Wow, what a crap roll.
We are all not rolling well right now. Can we
No.
fix that?
Literally half the
Yeah.
rolls in the session so far have been 1s.
I'll
I'm gonna
take
rejoin the
it
session.
next time. So that's up to 31 health. Then.
Let's clean up that RNG.
But you actually refresh the page. Okay.
Of course I am. I fucking left you.
All right.
There we go. We got a 20 on the board.
Jesus, okay. His rolls are good. Yours are all crap, apparently.
But that's not very good for us.
So, taking a gentle stroll along the main road, you guys eventually pass by the twins. In this particular moment, as it's starting to reach evening hours, you see a couple people stood in the doorways of either twins, throwing empty glass bottles at each other. It's not the twins themselves, just some regulars from each bar, but you walk past and under in hopes that a stray bottle doesn't knock you in. Thankfully, it doesn't. Continuing to make your way over, pass by a hospital, a mortuary, a couple of general stores. until you eventually make it to outside the front of the ladies' garden.
Just before we go on, can I also roll a hit dice as well? Because I had a short rest.
Sure.
So that's 6 healing, yeah.
So we got 12 out of 14 missing. Nice.
Okay, thanks.
As a nice deep golden light comes into the sky and evening takes hold of the city, you see a lot of people leaving their domiciles, leaving their places of work, either heading out for local events, one of which is the biggest that this city will see in quite a while, and some just off about the rest of their day. Baylor, you, with your eyes on the sky, and not particularly caring too much for the stony landscape of the city, gazing up into the sky at the clouds, notice a bird circling above the lady's garden. You see it notices you and starts to make a beeline towards you.
Is this a message bird?
As it quickly flies in and lands on your finger, it is indeed a message bird. And what strikes you is that this message is too soon to be a reply from the one you last sent. It just that the bird simply wouldn't have made it to the Asimil Woods in time. And as you hold this
but I have
bird,
sent two though, haven't I?
as this bird lands on your finger, little green wispy energy surrounds it, and you hear Faustina's voice played to you. Baylor, drow wizard found stalking the forest, looking for something. Iapetus fought and killed him. He's injured but recovering. What do you know about this?
The fuck?
Wow. Don't fuck with a druid.
It might not be the drow, is it, though?
None of the others were drow, as far as I remember. Or maybe...
But you might have other friends that we don't know about.
Well, I'm going to share the message with the rest of the group.
Andros, I will say that of all the students and researchers that you saw while you were causing major distractions, none of them you saw were drows. The only drows you've seen in this entire city so far are, in fact, Dranth and Baranoth. Well, actually, Andros hasn't seen Baranoth, but the rest of you guys have.
No, fair enough. One less thing to deal with.
Then we don't have to go to the cave that early?
I mean, it might be worth heading over anyway to speak to the dead with him, maybe. Or imagine he has some useful info.
Wait, what? Where? Sorry, I wasn't...
Well, I mean, so if he's dead, we can go talk to him, can't we?
To the dead guy. Yeah, but it's not something we should definitely do immediately. So we can do it after, the whole arena stuff. Which makes it rather easier. However, in the meantime, we can think of something to do with the Institute, because if he's gone...
I mean, unless the message is
can-
a fake and he managed to kill the druids and sent that to distract us.
I highly
I
doubt
don't
he
think
would have
he'd be
known
able
that
to-
much.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be able to fake Christina's voice and the animal messenger spell.
And
Is
know
druid
to who
spell.
to send it. We should probably send. If can you send more bird messengers today?
I can't. That's what I used my other level 3 spell slot for.
There
Yeah.
it is. But you could, just because it doesn't have a benefit for upcasting, you could cast it using a high level spell slot.
I could, right? And it is near the end of the day.
So it should be rather fine.
It should be fine to upcast it.
Yeah, but this is Dax. We're talking about something's going to go wrong with this concert.
Maybe wait after the concert to send it.
Just 8
Uh,
Earth Elementals on the stage.
we should definitely start thinking. Okay, are you telling us all that? Let's do it in character because we are kind of doing too much.
Yes, I definitely share with you all the message that I got from the druids.
And we didn't see any other draws in this institute. Could it be him?
It could be him.
I feel like there is another question for our friend Drant.
I would probably tell the druids to be careful.
More
it
of
might
them.
not be as simple as I think.
I did send a message already
Yeah.
to tell them about that. That there are people coming to look for the cave. So they could assume at least that what I sent them is an answer to the question. However, I feel it's even more important now to go speak to them.
Yeah.
On a side note, I'm getting stunned by all the druids of the flame because I'm not concentrating properly.
Druids of the Flame, but that's you.
When did we
Real.
last rest? Sorry. Was it in the
A few
cave?
hours back. We weren't in cave. We rested in the other place we were.
Yeah, before you
Teleported
teleported back here, like it became morning over there. You teleported back here, and it was like mid-afternoon, and now it's just turning evening. You did just take a short rest on your walk over here, so if you have HP you want to recover, you can spend a couple hit dices during that short rest.
Oh yeah, didn't some of you take some damage from a fireball?
I can use this ability after we sleep again.
What does it do?
We went to the forest once, right? So could I use it there?
A location familiar to you?
I mean, the range is only 1 mile, so we need to be a bit closer.
Yeah, and also you need 100 gold piece worth geode horn.
That we'll sort of like ignore
We
because it's
ignore
not
the maps.
consumed. It's not consumed by the spell.
Oh, it's not consumed. Okay, cool. So we only basically care for diamonds and some dusts if they're consumed.
Well, the spell does only last 10 minutes as well. But
There is a warlock spell that uses holy water, which I don't think
Everything
I'm
that
gonna
I've
get.
cast, I've not used any mats for up until now. So
Yeah, but that's fair.
yeah,
we
like
haven't
I think the only
resurrected
spell
someone.
any of you guys have that costs anything is Balor and Zinni's Revivify, which no one's had need to use yet. So
why is it only a mile? That's shit.
I am going to thank the little bird and let him go on his way.
Can you not answer something to it?
I
Or is
can.
it not like that?
Oh no, it's not like that. I need to cast
Okay.
that again. But this little bird's done quite a long trip already.
It's done, yeah.
I don't want to burn him.
Overwhelm it.
Yeah.
If that's actually him, these are some great news. We could
It is.
potentially... We could potentially inform our friend Sprigget and get him back to his old position.
Right, it sounds too easy.
It does.
So I mean, I've got a feeling there's something tricksy about it.
But I also
Either
got a
he's-
feeling...
Either it was like an illusion or something, if he's not actually dead or something like that.
You can't really fake the bird's message like that, so something's happened.
No, I mean, like, the person who thought they killed him, like, Maybe it was an illusion.
Yeah.
maybe-
The thing is,
Um,
there is a huge possibility Dax doing that, so we don't have to, postpone some of the plans we have.
I'll also
what-
say that Yaperis, it was Yaperis who he
Yeah.
encountered, right? Yeah. So
He's
Yaperis is
fun.
not just a little druid. The chances of Yaperis absolutely beating the snot out of him is absolutely fair. But for Yaperis to be injured means it was quite the fight.
But
It does kind of mean we could just walk into the institute and there's like one person there who's like a slight threat.
the thing is, we do know that Baronot was rather strong, and we also know that Iapetus is strong, so it kind of makes sense that it was rather not an easy fight for him.
Yes.
I tell you what, when we rest tonight, and Zinni does the whole work soul thing, see if his soul's there.
Oh,
That'd be useful to
right.
confirm, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Zinni dreaming about Baronot. Let's fucking go.
Are you telling me to go to sleep?
Walkie. Not
Vinny,
now.
sleep now.
Zinni, on the ground. Nappies. Okay, fun.
Please don't put a nappy on me.
Yeah, I remembered what it meant. After I said it, but it was late.
Do we know if Baronoth has any distinguishing features?
We've seen his face.
Like, could we get the druids to describe the drow that was killed to us and thereby identify that it is Baronoth? Is there anything that's like obviously distinct about Baronoth?
At the very least, I'd suggest like you warn him that he might not be working alone, so there might be others in the forest as well.
Yes.
They might not be
Yeah.
as strong, but there'd be quite a few of them, maybe.
Thing is, I think he's the only one that can teleport. So even if the rest are working with him, they won't be able to get to the forest that
He's the
quickly.
only one in the institute, but we don't know if he's working with any other outside forces.
Well, we kind of know that the only connections he has are the some old people from the Indies or old connections with the Indies, something like that. And we also know that he's done some jobs for the guy in the magic store, but that doesn't really mean he's got a connection with them.
I want to ask about the magic stones.
Mhm.
Do we just have two?
Yes, they are connected to each other. So
So we can't introduce another one?
No, they come as like a singular item, the two of them together. It's sort of like walkie-talkies in a sense.
Yeah.
They can go any distance. They can't go off-planet or to different planes, just so that you guys know. Not that that's even remotely possible at the moment. But they can travel any distance on the planet. But it just plays a single 25-message word once per day, either way.
Mm,
So I
What's
was
your-
thinking we could send Nyx and the other geezer there with the stone.
you mean in the institute?
To I was gonna say to the druids, but they might not like that actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
they don't even
I
know
think
where
that
it
will
is.
Go down well for them.
Yeah, they might get killed. They also don't know the place. They
Yeah,
also
it's
would
fine,
miss
it's just Jay's
stuff.
characters.
All right.
Just the trouble doors.
We are walkie treating them like NPCs. Like,
It will make the arena battle easier, so
Yeah.
I'm not
true.
totally against the idea.
go guys, fetch.
So-
Go get us a drop.
Yeah, I mean, my suggestion is obviously just warn them to be careful. There might be others, and we'll see when like, in the long rest tonight.
I believe he already warned them, sort of, about people going there. Not one person, but people, I believe, right?
Yes, I did warn them.
Yeah, so they're probably fine until we rest and he can send something else again. I don't know.
Baylor, do you want to
When
repeat
can
your
Baylor
last sending
become a
message to the
bird?
group?
There are bad people heading to the Spider Cave. They are trying to control the Eldritch Summon on the island, and we will be coming soon.
Yeah, you might want to retract. Well, coming soon can be a few days after
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I feel like he's informed them about people going there, not one person, so they should probably be aware of more danger.
So
With
he
one
sent that
person-
message just as you teleported back
Yeah, I know.
yesterday. So
So they
Yes.
still haven't gotten the information.
Short term, Ben. I think we go to the concert, wait, see what happens there. Go back and then ask John for the brother, maybe.
Yeah, I definitely think we should ask.
If he is actually dead, then we could probably just release Strath.
Yeah, and we could possibly try to do something with the current institute and change stuff there. Especially if Sprigget used to run it.
Well,
He
I'm
should be more
thinking
than capable to do so again.
more a case of just we could go there and find out more stuff research wise.
That as well. But keep in mind that there might be people that wouldn't be happy with it going there.
Yeah, but then,
So yeah.
like for one, granted, there's probably one other person there who's we need to keep an eye out for, but otherwise, I think we're fine.
Yeah, let's do the concert, then go back, speak to Drant again, potentially see what we can do with it, then maybe go to the Zinti Institute again and see, well, whether the guy's there.
Yeah, I mean, we can try sneaking in again. We can always just do another distraction.
I think it's also
Sure.
fair to say that with there having been one person found in the forest who's attacked the druids, they'll be on edge and on guard a bit more than normal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, we'll try to carry on then.
Okay, well that's rather comforting. Let's hope he's dead.
Let's hope so.
So you're making your way over to the theatre now?
Yeah.
Just a quick question before we do. Would it be worth sending Baronoth a sending message?
The thing is, I was thinking about this. However, if I'm not sure whether if he's dead, it's gonna react the same way as if he's in the institute behind the Void Stone. So I'm like,
Fair.
yeah, it might be a way. So I'm gonna look into it, how exactly it works. That's what I was doing currently. And then if there is actually indication of the person being dead on the other side, then it would work, but I'm not sure. I think it's the same.
That's why I'm thinking, like, the whole idea, Zinni literally seeing his soul being dead would be quite a good way of telling.
Yeah, but what if that doesn't happen? That's the thing, you don't know what Dax planned.
I don't always dream about that as well.
Exactly.
I mean, we just keep knocking you out and waking you up until you do.
No.
We just brute force it.
To be fair as well, though, Zinni, I don't think outside of the one time that you've actually consciously tried to either.
Also, you can try.
I mean, if you make a
It's
conscious effort to, it's definitely going to be different than just falling asleep.
I mean, the other person there, like, the way they were talking made it sound like it was something they do every night.
Yeah, because she said she was working basically every night. She's sleeping.
That must be a way of, like, forcing it.
If I squeeze really hard, will it work?
You might poop yourself, but yeah.
You have a collect call from the souls of the deceased. Do you accept charges?
Bless you.
I'll make sure that there's a drow underneath me when I squeeze, okay?
Yeah.
Been enough RP pooping in my game.
Yeah, I don't think
That's
sending.
not up to you.
You are the one who started with the RP pooping, right?
I didn't. I just did a bit of farting, and then Scup.
Well, you made a quest for us that was all about pooping.
Did I? What the fuck?
Shooting down a
Shooting
chimney
down a
Dax
chimney.
is what
Oh
you
god,
make
I did
right.
do that.
Yeah.
I
You
forgot
literally
about
did
that.
one. You literally did one for shitting and one for peeing in it. So I think it's kind of your fault for all of it.
True and real, actually.
I've identified patient 0.
Yeah.
All right. So is it onwards to the theatre now?
Yeah, I don't think sending works that way. But yeah, we are towards theater.
Okay. As you head and walk over to the theatre, the first thing you're immediately greeted by, even before you can properly see the theatre's front door, is a massive, massive queue of people. many of them positively elated and bouncing up and down. And you follow this queue all the way up to the front door of the theatre, where you see people slowly and steadily being admitted into the building. One
Can we
thing
see
that does
Spriggan?
catch your eye, however, is a short little man with white wispy hair arguing with one of the bouncers. Now listen here, one more time. I will tell you, I am an esteemed guest of the Wayward Wanderers. You know who those are, yes? Yes, sir, I do. Well, then you should know that you should be letting me in because they are very important people and I am their good friend. But sir, you say that, but like, you don't have a ticket.
Frigate.
It is Sprigget.
I love the idea. It's just some random old man.
Yeah.
Can we call him over?
Absolutely.
He can come in with us.
You're walking towards the entrance where he's like stood in front of. That's the VIP entrance.
Frigate.
Who? Is that? Oh, Zinni! Zinni, come here. Tell this blockhead of a man that I am a +1 guest of yours.
Yes, he's with us.
All right. Like, there's no problem, sir. But you didn't have a ticket. I will not hear a single other word of it. I will have a quick chat with your manager at some point tonight, after the festivities, of course. But you should be more wary. Well, I'm just doing
No,
my
no.
job.
No,
It's
Spriggan,
okay,
it's all right.
Frigate. You got there in the end.
All right. Well, tickets, please. And then, large and bouldering but simple man just holds out his hand, just like waiting for you to place the tickets in his hand.
Who's to the front? Is it Zinni and Sprigget now?
They are. Who has the tickets, though? It's a good question.
It's me. I was gonna be like, Do I just let them have fun for a while, or do I go in and give them the tickets? Okay. Now there. Hello. Well, I believe you're asking my friends for these.
Oh, yeah. Please.
So these 5 tickets are for the 5 of us, and I basically show the rest of our party.
As you place the tickets in his hand, he stops listening to you for a moment and looks intently at his hand. 1, 2, 3,
Aw.
4, 5. 1,
Don't we have
2,
6?
3,
We are
4,
5.
5.
Oh.
Okay,
Is not correct.
you're allowed in. And you are
Thank you.
granted admittance to the VIP door into the building, with the main door being blocked. It leads into the exact same foyer, and you're sort of guided by another bouncer to a separate staircase inside. The poster that you saw, however, though, that was previously Nathaniel's poster, which, if you can remember, was a lute with beautiful silver dragon's wings with a night sky and a moon in the background. That's been since scrapped and taken down. You, in fact, saw that getting taken down as soon as the change was made. The poster you see in its place now is of a magnificent, bright, burning sun. And it just simply says on it, Carnell and Brightburn.
No instruments, just the sun.
Just the sun.
Great.
Roll me an insight check, Anxie.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay.
Even just from looking at this poster, you can already sort of like gather that Carnellin is someone whose name alone brings a packed out crowd, and that he has no need for elaborate, beautiful looking posters. Just needs his name and a catchy color, and it'll drag people's eyes and guarantee that they buy tickets. As you are then led up through your staircase, up into the upper rafters of the theatre. Allow me to change scenes.
That's a theater, all right.
It is indeed a theatre. You obviously find yourselves in the upper rafters, in small section seating arrangements. There are some binders that have been put down, rather cheaply so, like literally just standing in the floor to separate different bits of the seating area. And you notice that you are the first group to show up in this upper section.
Okay. And do we see any people in the lower sections, or?
Oh, it's already starting to look very
already filled
crammed,
up.
and just by a cursory glance, you're unsure that all the rest of the people out there can fit in here.
Uh,
So you all take your seat. Is there any conversations you want to have amongst yourselves?
So when does the fighting start?
I think that's on the other stage at the other side of the city.
got nothing to talk about. However, I'm gonna get my notes from the Zenith Institute and start looking into them again, just to refresh my memory
Just flicking through
while
them.
waiting.
Okay.
Going to a sold out concert and doing homework.
Gotta do something while waiting.
Yeah, it's fair, yeah.
Well, as you do, more and more people start to fill in. Spriggett sits in his seat and sort of like shuffles it forward so he, even with his small stature, can have a look over the barrier to make sure he gets a good view at the stage. It isn't too long until you see a chaperone of guards arrive and shuffle into the bound off area next to you. And shortly following them is Lord Hennard Halfthird. As he's walking by your section, he takes notice of you and comes over to you. As soon as he starts walking over to you, the guards who are both in front of him behind him panic and like try to run ahead of him.
Oh, it is.
I hide my notes.
It's you lot again. The Wayward Wanderer is such a. So nice to meet you again.
Good evening, my lord. It's good to see you again.
Yes, I'm hopeful for a wonderful night of festivities. It's been a long time, and I certainly didn't think that I would see another Brightburn concert.
This will be a first for me, and I've heard much about it, so
Oh,
Right.
young lad, you are in for a treat. There quite simply is no other bard like Carnellin out there.
that coming from you, I think that says quite a lot. I think it's going to be a good evening.
So, what have you all been up to in the city recently?
Adventurer things, my lord.
Oh, yes. I did hear that the issue of the statues has since been fixed. I have heard on the grapevine that that was of your doing.
It was. We did manage to put an end to that.
Hmm. Indeed, well, I'm glad to hear of it. Whatever miscreant has found their justice. But yes, no, I'm glad that there's an air of normalcy about the air, finally.
We're glad we could help with that.
Well, I will just be in my section over here. It seems the best seats in the house have gone to Carnellin's good friends himself. I'm sure that you will enjoy them most highly.
He says with a gentle smirk on his face, knowing that what he said was a bit of a dig, but also just a happy acceptance in some way.
Adigonos?
Yeah. That you nabbed his seats, basically.
Oh, unlucky chief.
Do we want to? I'm asking this out of character. Do we want to tell the Lord we'd like to have a chat with him after the concert?
Tell him what? Right now we know that the guy might be dead, so we don't really know what to do we?
We
I'd
don't.
wait to see if Kenelon actually turns up first.
Yeah, exactly. I'd suggest to wait and figure out what to do before going to him.
All right.
If anything, I'm fine with telling Evangelist Priget first.
So, just before this all begins, I'm going to go take a quick bio break. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
So the question is, if Carnelian doesn't turn up, what do we do?
You mean for the concert?
Yeah.
We just leave, I suppose. Can't really do much.
If only you knew someone else who could do the gig.
But would we care for it, though?
I think he's gonna-
That Nathaniel's out getting drunk somewhere and just like swearing about
Do you reckon I could like recreate his entire act using Major Image?
We haven't seen it. So that's
There
an
is
issue.
that. Based on what he said though this morning in the other place that he needs to get, well, we need to get back to the concert. I think he'll be.
I know what we could do. Like, so if we need to like come up with excuses as to why he didn't turn up, we use Major Image to make it appear like he's just like come out to the crowd, and then I summon a Shamble and have it, basically fake his death.
Oh, you're talking about Cornell. Oh,
Yeah.
he's gonna show up. My last session, I casted Sending on him, and he did say he's gonna see us there, so he should be there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, sorry. That's something I didn't tell anyone, so no way of you knowing.
Keeping secrets for everyone then.
Well, I literally sent the spell in the end of the session, and Dax sent it to me like 2 days ago. Back.
Do you reckon? What's the name of Jay's character? Who's
Nathaniel?
One.
Nathaniel?
Yeah.
Do you reckon he's going to turn up?
Probably.
Like,
Imagine
what
him
would-
watching out of spite.
Okay, that's actually a good question. Would Nathaniel have procured his own ticket?
No.
And there is your answer.
Not gonna watch out of spite, I see.
No, I was thinking that's him watching or him turning up and causing a scene.
Would he do that, Jay? Actually, if he would, you can message me privately.
I was thinking more like you'd have like a bar, have a like a black bottle on stage, basically with 2 bards.
I would imagine Nathaniel coming here all drunk and just causing a scene.
Oh, really?
That's something.
I would sort of imagine that as well, but I'll let Dax know.
One thing you guys do notice about this concert hall is that there's actually quite a gap between the front row of seats and the stage itself. Almost as if, like, a row or two of seats have been completely removed to just give this empty space before the stage. It doesn't take too long for the theatre to fill up as well. And it's not, like... As you look below, there are some people sharing 2 seats. There are some people very cramped together. There are some people lining the walkways themselves. It seems that people have done everything they can to make sure that they are a part of what's to come.
I'm going to do a perception check to see if anything looks sus.
Roll me a perception check. Outside of some people that don't necessarily look like the certain clientele that would be able to afford to come to a concert as prestigious as this, there's nothing really that maliciously intended that catches your eye. Once this concert is completely full, or the theatre hall is completely full, the curtains actually open and reveal a completely empty stage. Weirdly empty. Not a single decoration, not a single prop anywhere. Just the back wall, the curtains now drawn, and the empty wooden stage. You hear a couple whispers here and there, but nothing really takes your opinion that well. Spriggett is now positively bouncing up and down in his seat, though. Oh. Ooh. So, have any of you been to a concert of Carnelians before?
I've never been to anybody's concert before.
Me neither.
Well, you find yourself in a similar position that I found myself not but a few years ago. Yes, I'm very, very excited. Ooh. You see, he's just like nervously twitching, opening and closing his hands a lot for some reason, and it's just sort of like really, really antsy and excited. As the rest of you sort of like just keep looking towards the direction of the stage. Without hearing anything beforehand, Anxie, you feel a hand on your shoulder. Well, I hope this guy better be good. You turn around, it's Carnellen.
I've only heard good things about him.
I've heard he can be a bit braggadocious at times.
Is that so?
Some people say, but I don't listen to them.
You shouldn't.
Spriggett is positively like biting on his own tongue while seeing Carnellen so close to him. It's nice to see you made it, Spriggett. I do hope you enjoy the performance tonight. Spriggett just can't bring himself to say anything. He just stares and starts sweating. Oh, okay. How are the rest of you doing?
Surprisingly well.
Oh?
Does he recognise me as a random person?
I will say that outside of not seeing the big orc and then seeing another random person in place of you, let me roll an intelligence check. Kind of looks in your direction and sort of nods in recognition. Doing good. Well, I'm glad to hear is Gwen doing okay?
How are you doing yourself?
Oh, I'm fine. Me. Show must go on. It was a mad
Good
dash to
process.
finish and prepare everything, but we made it in the end. Roll an insight check.
I'd like to reroll.
Okay.
Yeah, never mind.
It doesn't beat a 30.
I know.
The Carnellen special.
But yeah, we crammed it all in time. Should hopefully be a good performance. Did I overhear that you guys haven't been to a concert before?
Yeah.
Wow. I hope I don't burn out your synapses too quickly. There's a confident smirk on his face. Well, that aside, I've got a little bit of schmoozing I need to do if you don't mind. Any stands up more upright and walks over to pass the binder to the Lord section. You hear himself introduce himself. He seems to be talking quite a bit louder than he was talking with you just now. Maybe hoping that you will be listening.
I'm paying attention.
Lord Hennard, I'm glad to see that you made it.
Oh, Garnell, it is good to see you once again, my boy. Oh, it's a true delight that I find myself in presence of your concert once more. I shan't have thought I would have seen another, but I'm very glad that I will.
Oh, of course, my lord. There is one thing I did want to ask you for, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course, anything, my boy. You bring such good name and statue to the city. I would do most anything.
I'm assuming that you've heard that I'm going to be fighting alongside the Wayward Wanderers, my good friends, at the arena.
Oh, yes, I have heard of that. I shall be attending that too, you know. It should be a most interesting endeavor.
It will, definitely. But, now that I'm being considerably more, public with my appearance and knowledge that I'm in the city, I've been staying in the company of the Wayward Wanderers for a while, team building purposes and whatnot. I was hoping that you could deploy some of your better guardsmen to keep a watch over their room that they have rented within the Ladies' Garden.
Oh, really? And it's a bit of an odd request. Why would you... Well, I mean, what would be your reasoning?
Oh, I mean, it's nothing, my lord. It's just how things go sometimes. You know, jealousy is a powerful thing, my lord, and it could push both the mundane and the magically inclined to angrily pursue those who have the pleasure of being in my company. I wouldn't want them to be swarmed with fans or maybe someone who would seek to undermine or potentially harm them in some way.
Oh, yes, the blights of the famous. I used to be somewhat aware. Of course, this is something I can accommodate, no issue.
And you hear that he cuts off. Roll a perception check, Anxie. You just about pick up the fact that the Lord is speaking considerably quieter and in a somehow even more hushed tone than his already husky voice.
It'll be done before the concert is done. You'll be free to return to your room together, and I hope that you would have a pleasant rest after what I'm sure will be an exhilarating concert.
Thank you, my lord. I appreciate it ever so much. Well, if you don't mind, I still have a bit more schmoozing to do. And he starts. It's like,
Oh, yes, of course, break a leg, but not really.
good day, my lord. And he walks back past your binded section over to the section over from you. Anxie, you look at him as he passes. He gives you like a very obvious wink. If you wanted to speak with him, he's like within like 10 feet of you as he's passing by, so you can get some telepathic communications if you wanted to. Otherwise, he's just going to
Yeah.
walk on past.
I was thinking about it. I am gonna use telepathic speech on him because I wouldn't speak out loud. Thank you for what you did just now. I'm not sure whether it's the best idea, but I guess having someone look after us is good.
Well, I mean, a bunch of the Lord's favorite guards outside your very room should be a good enough deterrent, I would think.
And if we didn't have a prisoner, but I agree. Thank you.
He carries on and schmoozes with what you can only assume is some nobles in the binding next to yours. He's only gone about 5 minutes before he comes back and sits down, pulls up an empty chair and sits down in it, in and amongst all of you guys. Oh. You guys excited?
I suppose we are.
I'm right, you better hope to be. Don't you know that I'm one of the most famous bards in all the world?
So we've heard, and it would be a great first experience for sure to see the best, I suppose.
It surely would. He talks in a more hushed tone. Where are you keeping Drance currently?
I continue using telepathic speech on him. You remember the place we teleported back to?
I
There is-
left as soon as we teleported there.
Oh, did you just teleport out of it?
I just kind of walked off. We
We've
were all
seen it
invisible.
then. So, rather close to that place, there is sort of a gray area where no one really goes to, and people are rather safe, I suppose.
Hmm.
So he's in one of the houses there.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm assuming your big green friend is looking after him.
yeah.
Well, I don't envy you having to choose what to do with him.
I think the decision might be easier than expected.
In the middle of your conversation, the crowd starts to cheer and whoop. You look over to the stage. Carnellon has walked onto the stage. I guess the show's about to begin.
Yeah. I don't suppose you need luck.
Oh. You need all the luck you can get, really. But I think it's time. He stands up and stretches, and you watch as a shimmer fades over him, and the alter spell, alter self spell he had up fades away, and you see a somewhat different looking Carnellon. Now that you see it, similar to the one that's down there, dressed differently. His skin, the same deepish brown orange as normal, shines a more like healthy glow, and his hair a lot more delicately put back and gently resting on his shoulders. The ornate leathers that he was wearing before, which were some kind of armor, have been done away with, and now he's just wearing a loose, thin-fitting shirt of the most gorgeous crimson, with probably an extra button or two more undone than he should. His trousers are a deep dark red, and taking in his whole attire, he looks as if he covers the complete colour spectrum of a kindling flame. Most notable thing, however, though, is the cloak he now wears. Underneath the cloak is a deepish brownish red that seems to have somewhat gently shifting textures you can't quite make out, but on the back it bears a pattern that looks like black lava rocks with fiery veins running in between them, with the veins pulsing with energy. Right, well, time for the show to begin. As the Carnellon on stage is bowing and waving to the crowd and has their entire attention, Carnellon takes the seat he was sat on and pushes it up against the barrier and stands up on the seat with a foot on the barrier itself. Well, I believe it is time for the show to begin. And the crowd stops and looks up back into the rafters. Whispers begin around the theatre. There's 2 Carnellans. And Carnellon begins to chuckle. Don't be silly. As if there could be more than one of me. And he turns and looks at the Carnellon on stage, which doubles down onto all fours and starts to gnash and squeal. His clothes start to burst as his arms and legs bulk, and it starts to take on the darkish purplish hue of a shambler. Carnellon makes a big flourishing pose and shouts, "Begone!" as he hurls a bolt of fire straight into its head. It falls silent and turns to a burning crisp on the ground. The audience, silent, turns and looks up at Carnellon. Not even this island's many horrors could prevent me from performing to all my darling fans. A couple of girls scream and swoon within the crowd. He then watches Carnellon stands up on the barrier and braces himself for a jump. He leaps into the air, spreads his arm into a swan dive and starts pummeling to the floor and onto the people in the crowd. Gasps and screams are heard all over the arena, and right before he hits the ground, he disappears in a spark of flame, and a split second later, appears on the stage in a deep bow to the audience. The crowds and cheers erupt once again, which he momentarily bathes in. After taking this time and calming down the crowd, he pulls the lute off his back. Well, I think there is simply no better way to get things underway than to start off with a certain song. One that reminds you all that no matter what may happen, nothing will be able to stifle that burning fire we all feel inside. The crowd erupts immediately, some in recognition of the song to come, some in just pure excitement. Spriggett is holding so tightly to the wooden handles of his chair that he's sort of almost like you hear the wood creaking. You then spot as Carnellon briefly takes a hand off of one of his lutes and puts it behind his back before quickly returning it. Seconds later, a drum beat kicks in. It takes you off guard initially because he's just holding a single lute. You quickly try to glance around to see where the sound is coming from, but it's coming directly from him. An angry drum beat kicks in, and Carnellon swings a firm strum across his lute. It creates a sound that none of you recognize or none of you thought was possible of a lute. You hear some bassy strings kick in as well, reinforcing that melody, and in mere seconds, Carnellon whips up into an impassioned solo so commanding that it drowns out most of the carnal screaming you hear across the theatre. Carnellon begins to sing the opening verse, and you hear that his voice is lighter than his normal speaking voice. And oddly, the lyrics of this opening verse catch you off guard. It's a warning? Don't come close, just stay away. I'll burn you if you dare. You can't stop me, oh no, no, no. Just sit and stay and stare. You then hear gently bouncing throughout the arena of a higher pitched and harmonized echo of Carnellon's voice, saying, "Demon inside." As Carnellon's strumming his lute becomes more aggressive and haphazard, the lyrics he sings starts to talk about a deep feeling inside, making its way to the surface again. He warns everyone to stay back before he loses control, and you hear the snapping of wood as a hole appears on the stage to Carnellon's right. It's punched out by a fist of pure flame emerging from below and grasps the stage. More snapping to the left of Carnellon as a second fist flies out of the ground and both grasp the stage firmly, and you watch as both fists tense as more of the stage snaps and splinters as a giant demonic version of Carnellon, completely doused in flames, pulls itself from the ground. It stands at about 20 feet tall, sporting exaggerated and pointed ears, jagged teeth, and a long whipping tail. As it fully pulls itself out, it lets out a scream, and at the same time you see Carnellon's hair, which was gently resting on his shoulders, immediately stand up on its end and starts to whip and flicker back and forth as if his entire hair itself was aflame. As he opens his eyes, reaching the crescendo of his opening tune, his eyes are a bright, glowing orange. Carnellon now himself is emitting bright light, around like 30 feet around him, hitting the walls and the back of the stage. The lyrics carry on, talking about losing himself in the moment and not wanting to hurt anyone around him. But then you see a wicked smile appear across Carnellon and the flaming demon's face. He lets out a terrifying laugh that is timed perfectly with each strum of his lute. The lyrics then change drastically, talking about bathing in a fire that feels too right and knowing that he can't be stopped. Those of you that take a moment to look across the crowd see that some people here are genuinely frightened, but can't bring themselves to avert their gaze from the magnificent performance before them. After lavishing in these malevolent lyrics, the lyrics then change drastically once more, talking about regaining control and putting back what was sealed. You hear a struggled fight in his voice as the demon starts to scream and fall back down into the wood. As it scrapes at the stage, you watch as Carnellon's hair gently lowers and his eyes go back to their normal colour. As he plays out the final part of the song, the beat comes to a much gentler and pleasant tone, and he sings about knowing what he and every individual holds inside, but keeps locked away. The crowd erupts in glorious cheers, screams and whoops are heard all around the theatre, and Carnellon showcases a deep bow. Don't ever forget, even someone as hot as myself still has to keep their flames in check. You see at this point that many of the concertgoers have forgone their assigned seatings and are scrambling towards the front. It's quite apparent that the majority of these people are women, many of them reaching their hands out as far as they can just so that they can be, even a part of them, be a bit closer to him. It's at this point that you notice there's actually somewhat of a security detail closest to the stage, evidently there to prevent the more zealous fans from storming the stage. Carnellon lowers his head and looks towards his lute. He begins to play it. This time the lute makes a much more of a normal lute sound, different to what was before, much lighter, almost dainty. As he plucks at the strings, just the noise alone evokes the idea of jumping from one thing to another. As mixtures of cheers and yearns grow louder from the front row, Carnellon strums a chord that lasts and lingers in the air. As his voice kicks in, he begins to sing of a story, one of young, naive dreams. Dreams to fly across the world and be a bright spark in the sky. He sings the story of a broken little boy, one with no place to call home and no body to call family. And after the song gently lulls down, he sings of falling into something unexpectedly. A crowd of support and love, a crowd that flings him into the air, and as the chorus kicks in, everybody simultaneously feels a gentle breeze come across the theatre, softly blowing your hair back and smelling like the freshest summer's day. Carnellon starts singing of dreams realized, everybody looking up to him and soaring through the sky, burning up like the brightest sun. As the chorus fades and Carnellon's lute portrays the feeling of falling back down to the earth, the final verse kicks in, singing fondly of the sights he saw and people he met. He talks longingly of times gone by, but with a stoic recognition that all good things must come to an end. As the last chords of the song is played, Carnellon looks off into nowhere, bringing the song to its emotional end. Immediately bowing and sporting the widest smile he can, Carnellon looks directly at the front row as he takes in the crowd's applause. You could swear that the person or two in the front row faints, but don't collapse on account of how packed in they are. Returning to his upright position, Carnellon addresses the crowd. I hope you're enjoying this evening's attraction. But, speaking of attraction, I think it's time we gave these ladies in the front row a song just for them. You then hear the loudest screams you've heard all evening. Many of the girls start openly weeping and wiping their tears and snotty noses as they barely hold themselves together. Carnelian strikes a pose and then plays an opening that is to them all too familiar. The song quickly opens up, Carnelian singing about how he knows the way you look at him, the way you gawk and stare. He dares you to run over to him and spill your heart out. As a piano kicks in for the first chorus, Carnelian muses about all the things he's heard. Pledges of adoration, confessions of love, but none would mean more to him than a kiss from your pretty face. Many more girls from throughout the audience have now stampeded towards the front, the security detail finally sharpening up and forming a barrier to prevent them swarming Carnelian. Carnelian stays close to the front of the stage, often looking down and singing directly to them, only inciting them further. The song then deftly switches up, singing of a girl alone in her room, staring up into the ceiling and off into the blue, with ideas of love and longing driving her insane and goading her to get things off her chest. The chorus whips up once more, with Carnelian repeating many more of the things he's been told and witnessed over the years, but how none of them would mean more to him than a couple of precious moments with you. As the song starts to play out, you watch as the girls in the front row, or the ones with energy left at least, start weeping even more openly, knowing that this song is coming to a close. And as the final string is plucked, the entire audience gives a standing ovation. They all enjoyed it, despite the definitely having more of a specific target demographic. As Carnelian takes in the applause and gives the audience a moment to collect themselves, you see that a stool gets slid onto the stage, and the audience quiets down. Even Spriggett looks a bit bewildered. Oh, that's not something he's done before. Oh, are we getting some kind of ballad? As the audience quiets down of their own intrigued accord, Carnelian gently lets go of his lute, seeming to not need it immediately for this song. The piano starts up, and as soon as it does, you feel all energy and colour get sapped from the room. Carnelian gently looks up into the ceiling and begins to sing with a gentle and light voice. of the song, you see tears streaming down his face. As you gaze across the crowd, you see not a single soul is moving or making a noise. All of them sit there in a stunned silence with their mouths agape, listening to his harmonized voice echo across the hall. As the song steadily comes to a close, Carnellon returns his gaze to the room and wipes the tears from his eyes. There are several seconds that go by of total silence, which are only broken by the sounds of a man weeping down in the crowd. Claps followed by cheers, followed by the most impassioned wails of yearning bounce across the theatre. Spriggett turns to you and grabs Zinni by the arm. He's never played that one before. I think it was brand new. Oh, what a monumental occasion this is. Thank you for bringing me here. I truly mean it. After a slow and steady recovery, the entire audience, even the most zealous, find themselves sat back in their original seats. Silently and without addressing the crowd, Carnellon firmly grasps his lute and begins to play. The lute sounds significantly different once more, and to the more culturally inclined of you, it sounds somewhat like a sitar. The exotic melody gently drifts across the room as Carnellon begins to sing about setting sail and flying by wind back to his home. Singing of how the clouds themselves are parting just for him, he talks of seeing a light left on by his mother, left only to help him find his way home. As he begins to play a wondrously plucked solo, you see the crowd enraptured, having most of them never heard an instrument like this before. Carnellon then begins to sing of open watering eyes and a warm embrace welcoming him home. He tells of taking his mother's hand and holding her close, talking about how she was a guiding star for him to find his way home. The last thing you hear as the strings fade out is a loud wind pushing against you, and the song comes to a close. As the crowd gives its applause, Carnellon bows deeply once more, and you hear his voice boom across the theatre once more. Well, I certainly hope you haven't lost all energy just yet. We still have but one more song to go, and I'm sure many of you know which it is. A loud cheer is heard before a single instrument is even played as Carnellon prepares to play his signature song. Carnellon plays a deep, strong chord, and that thunderous sound bursts from his lute once more. A wicked drum beat kicks up, and suddenly the entire audience is bouncing, up on their feet and jumping. Carnellon starts singing at the top of his voice, louder than you've heard all night, singing about how you burn so brightly that you outshine all your city's lights. Singing about how you should let go, not care about what others think, and burn as bright as you can. As the song switches to the bridge, he sings of how he's glad you made it, and how he's stolen all of the shine from the sun and he's ready to explode, and asks if you can take it, or if you'll avert your eyes. Bridging into the second verse, he sings about how the heat he holds inside feels like a chemical burn, searing away all his skin, and chanting that if he stops breathing, then he might just explode. An impassionate whip into the second chorus, and now he sings about how he'll burn brighter than the sun itself, being a leading light for all life on Zemia. Nothing can compare to him, and nothing ever will compare to him. Even once he's gone, you'll all still be blinded by his light. Carnellon then begins chanting about how he feels the end coming, how he'll burn a permanent light into the sky and into your hearts. As he chants louder and louder, the last lyrics you hear are about how he'll always be who he is, and he throws his lute to the side and claps his hands loudly in front of him, and in an instant you see a point of light up and behind him at the back of the stage burst into a giant ball of radiant light, enveloping him and the entire stage with it. And for a few seconds, this burns a brighter light, rivaling that of the sun itself. With the music now stopped, the light fades a few seconds later. As it does, you can start to see the stage again. Most of it is on fire. The curtains caught ablaze, and the wood of the stage blackening from char. You look to Carnell and you see he's burned as well. Much of his own skin charred, flesh laid bare, and clothes still smoking. You see Carnell stumble ever so slightly as he bows and holds his bow, as cheers and cries are rained upon him. As he slowly rights himself, you see he starts to pad down the embers that are still burning on his clothes. At this point, you see several surprised and unexpected stagehands rush the stage and start putting out fires, ripping down curtains and stamping them out and throwing buckets of water onto still smouldering sections of the floor. As cheers still rain throughout the theatre, you watch as Carnell slowly raises his hand and points into the crowd. You see his mouth move as he whispers something. And then you hear a girl scream from the crowd. A beautiful young elvish girl with light golden hair, and she sprints full speed at the front of the stage. Security seem to let her slip right by, and she jumps at Carnell, who he catches her in a bridal carry. Carnell then turns towards the crowd and says, "I hope you all enjoyed yourselves tonight. Always burn bright, and good night to you all." And then whoosh, he suddenly disappears in a flock of flames. The crowd dies down, and they begin to funnel out of the stage. Spriggett finally loosens the grip on his chair. Oh, what a lucky girl she is. Oh boy.
Spriggett, you wish that was you?
Oh, no. I don't wish that was me. This is how every one of Carnell's concerts ends. One
Oh.
lucky girl picked out from the crowd, and off they disappear to spend maybe the rest of the night, I don't know. But lords know that I'm of no age to be getting up to those sorts of frivolities.
Do I
Oh.
trust him?
Roll insight.
This is the best insight check ever.
Okay.
With the 20 insights, you get the feeling there are elements of what he said are true, and elements of what he said that are maybe not so true.
It's okay, Spriggett. Maybe next time.
Let's
Is he
go.
watching?
Yes.
I go towards Zinni, and I pat her on the shoulder. No, Zinni, it's over.
Huh? Huh?
Yeah, we can go towards, comfortable beds instead of these thingies.
Sorry, I don't know what came over me.
Did you dream of anything?
Don't think so.
So that was interesting. Shall we go? Does it seem like everyone else is leaving? What's
Everyone is
happening?
starting to fill out of the theatre.
Well, thinking what we can do is, if you guys want to head back to the inn, you can head back to the Grey Zone and release Drunk.
I don't know whether we should go back to the inn yet. I think we should go back to Drunt and speak to him. And try to figure out a solution for that.
Oh yeah, I've got I know a way of releasing him where he can't go to the guards and tell them this and so on.
I think we can do that in a proper manner. Okay, let's try to speak with him instead of doing anything.
Well, my fault was we drenched him in alcohol and foamed along the streets with a few coins. If he goes to the guards, they won't believe him.
I don't think he would have gone to the guards either way. Sorry, go on, Zinni.
Zinni looks towards Spriggett because he's probably listening to our conversation.
Sprigget, hold on. His mind is totally elsewhere. You see him like he's basically fanning his face and feels hot all over, and you see that he meets up, and both him and Lord Hennard start to walk out of the entrance at the same time. You see both of them sort of like trying to fan themselves down.
Should we tell him about what's his name? Give him to it.
Baranot. I feel like we should first try and figure out what exactly the information we've received means for us, and then tell him if there is anything. So I think we should go back to the hideout. Maybe Baylor should contact the druids again, and in the meantime we should try and speak with Drant. And depending on what we learn, we should
I mean, I
basically.
don't think it's going to be that useful to talk to in his current state. It's going to wait for like how long?
2 days? It's still fine. Still has 1 exhaustion point. It's fine.
So
He'll be able to tell us if there are any other drow.
Yeah, and maybe tell us if there is any particular trait of Baranot that might be basically helpful to us in order to make sure it's actually him. Feature, trait, anything. Even an item on his person might be helpful in this case.
as you walk out into the open night's air, where are you heading?
I'd assume to the Grey Zone.
Back to the Grey Zone?
Is that not correct, guys? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just double checking with you guys. Right. Well, as you are unleashed at about the same time that the rest of the concert is, the streets are packed. Many of the girls still sort of like grouped up together, giggling and squealing together. Many men stood around those groups looking reluctant and annoyed. And many people just heading back to their homes, whispering and gossiping with their friends. This is probably a level of entertainment that this city doesn't see all too often. Especially being in the place that it is. Little momentary joys like this are maybe hard to come by for the more honest and simple folk. Those that could at least afford to get in. You start to make your way back to the Grey Zone. It's a 2-ish hour walk. If you guys don't have anything to talk about in the meantime, we can just go straight there, basically.
Is anybody following us?
Roll a perception check.
I'd like to keep an eye as well.
You do a roll as well, then.
Right.
Baylor, you keep an eagle eyes out, looking around. There are a lot of people in the streets to account for, but a lot of them seem very obviously tending to their own businesses and talking amongst each other, not even taking a single glance in your direction as you start to walk down towards the scrounge. So we're heading straight there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys eventually make it back to the area that the Grey Zone is around. Are you guys rolling stealth to enter?
Yeah, I'd assume so.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, roll me a group stealth check then.
Oh, not 20.
There we go.
Voilà.
I'm so stealthy.
Zinni, can I get a stealth check when you can? Thank you. You all start to shuffle inside. Andros, again being the most comfortable, heading in last, keeping an eye out. Fairly confident that whatever hubbub is currently probably being caused somewhere around the scrounge is probably keeping ire in that direction, and that you've entered the grey zone unnoticed. I shall transfer us back to said map. As you enter, you see a petrified Dranth still in the corner of the room, sitting upright rigidly, trying to keep his eyes open as best he can. You see Pinchy curled and sleeping in his bed, and you see Cedric in that chair still on the opposite side of the room to Dranth, dozing away very, very loudly. Levant and Nyx, where are you located at this point?
In the room specifically, Nyx is likely in the unoccupied corner, and Levant is just leaning against a wall. I'd say probably the back wall.
Okay. Well,
I just walk up to Dranth and just tap him on the shoulder. You can relax a little bit. It's gone.
You people are fucking weird.
Ironic.
Come to torture me more, you little devil. I really hope you guys don't think that you're the good guys. God, I'm tired.
Do you think you're the good guy?
Better than you, at least.
Oh yeah. Good people definitely break the trust of others.
Good people definitely kidnap and torture people.
Well, you did the same thing, did you not?
Yeah, you pot kettle black there.
Yeah, but I had a good reason.
Oh, and we don't.
I'd argue at least you could fight back.
In any case, it's a little late for sophistry. How was the concert?
It was boring.
It was quite
Neva-
something.
Nathaniel must be fuming.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Given I didn't actually hear anything back on something else, by the way, I did roll a con save to see how well Nathaniel was holding the drinks that he was definitely having in relationship to this, and all I'll say is natural 19, so motherfucker can hold his drink at the very least.
Oh,
I was sort of hoping for like a really low roll. He's just gonna like walking back to the scrounge. You just see he's been thrown out of one of the twins.
I'll just say to Dranth as well, you don't need to worry about whoever your boss's name is, I can't remember.
Barnot.
Baronoff. As far as we've heard, he's been eaten by a giant rabbit.
What?
What?
Yeah, it's a long story, but yeah, he's no more.
I mean, if they were lying, I feel like it would be a little bit more believable.
Roll a persuasion check.
Can we help him?
I'll just say, Levant and
Oh,
Nick
do I
are
need help?
also
Doesn't need help.
And you got a natural 1 as well.
pretty sure they can't do that, but I'll have a look.
You were told this?
Yeah, a little word told us. Quite literally in this case.
He looks over at Baylor and just, oh, I get it.
I just grin.
Hmm.
Well, what do you plan to do with me now?
That kind of depends on you, honestly.
No,
What-
I've got no real problem with you. It's more just, yeah, as long as you don't like immediately go back to kidnapping people again.
I do have some questions for you still.
Oh. What questions are those?
Other than you and Baronoff, how many other drow are at the Institute?
None.
Do I trust that?
Roll an insight check.
Can I assist?
Yep.
I'm asking the question. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
roll with
Oh.
advantage.
Okay, yeah.
Can I do an inside as well? Because I'm kind of talking to as well.
Why am I rolling so low for this? Jesus. I'd use my last lucky point as well. Yeah.
Dranth seems
Intrigued.
like he's in a situation that would be, especially with his level of exhaustion, very hard to maintain any kind of facade, and you do get the feeling that he's telling the truth.
I mean, I will
If-
mention I didn't see any of us when I saw all the students run out during my distraction.
If I use detect thoughts on him, what are his surface thoughts, or based on the information he's just received?
It'd take you like a couple of seconds to cast detect thoughts, but you can cast it and listen in if you want.
Yeah. First, I want the surface thoughts, and then I'll probably just probe deeper.
The immediate surface thoughts that you get are just,
I really can't believe he's dead.
his inner voice even sounds exhausted.
Okay, and I'll be probing deeper.
So wisdom saving throw for me, right?
I believe so. Should be a disadvantage as well, because
Would be
He's
a
exhausted.
disadvantage. It's going to be a 12 plus. Let me find out what it's plus. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't have Dranth's
come
character
on.
sheet up.
If it's more than 2, there will be a silvery barbs casted.
It is plus 2, so that's a 14.
Oh, then it's fine, then it's fine. He fails.
So, you push deeper into his thoughts. What are you trying to comb for? Or just listening to what he's thinking while you're talking to him?
The latter. So, with Baron not being dead, what's next for the Institute? What's next for you?
No one holds a candle to Baronoth. With him dead, the Institute will fall apart. Harkness will probably take over the students, but outside of that, researchers will probably go elsewhere.
There is no other person from the researchers that might try to take over. Is that so? And here he will have to roll an intelligence check against mine.
He's going to elect to fail it.
Okay.
And Lether has always been a cocky bitch, but she won't be able to hold up what he was.
And what about you? If we decide to let you go, What are you gonna do?
Decide to let me go. I'm as good as dead, and I know it.
Who's gonna kill you if Baronot's gone?
One of you I'm waiting for. Just how long are you sick bastards gonna keep me trapped and tortured?
Sick bastards. Right. You don't really see the irony, do you?
I see the
Your
false
people-
equivalence that you draw, but I don't care for it.
And that's the last time I actually cared about anything related to you. Well, it's been great. Hope you have a lovely life. And I let him go. Basically, I stopped detecting his thoughts, 'cause I don't care.
Okay. The connection severs.
Telepathic speech. You are a broken man. And I basically just go out and take a breather.
No response.
Okay, well, I don't know what she just told you, but based on your face, and she seemed pretty pissed off.
You
I'm
must have
trying to
heard
just-
everything, except for the telepathic speech part, because the rest of the tech dot stuff.
Oh, you were doing
It'll
that
be
out
out loud.
loud? Okay. So you heard
Yeah,
the
yeah.
conversation, just not that last line.
Okay. So we could just let him go then.
Silence falls across the grey zone at the mention of the question.
I'm not there.
I mean, there's technically 4 other people there, though, that could be chiming in.
One that isn't, but if anyone does look over at Nyx, they will now notice that they're writing.
Nick's writing?
Yes, keep sheaves of paper around at certain times. You may have seen it happen once or twice before, and they're
Right.
writing something right now.
Well, I can't see that either.
The others can.
Hmm.
You know, guys, you are in there.
Okay. Well, considering nobody else is talking, we probably will be letting you go. I'm sure you understand. I'm going to put a bag over your head. 'Cause I'm not going to let you go here to know where we are. So we slightly different part of the city. That's okay. But we will be letting you go.
Really not gonna kill me?
No real reason to, as far as I'm concerned.
Or just torture me within an inch of my life and leave me for dead? How
Oh,
much
to be
morally
fair,
better of you?
I mean, fair, don't you? I had no idea what they did to you. I just kind of turned up here. And,
We're,
whatever.
we're not murderers, and we weren't torturing you for our enjoyment. We need to make sure that we're safe. We need to make sure Gwen is safe. You were doing some dodgy stuff, man, and we were just making sure that all of ours are safe.
Yes, for all of your moral high ground, there is a woman here who is transparently, obviously, non-magical, and who has still yet to wake after your ministrations. So your continued attempts to maintain some kind of fragile moral high ground do ring more hollow than I think even you realise.
What
I mean,
is it?
we're going to let you go, but don't cause any issues for us. We won't cause any issues for you. And just to emphasize on that point, I point to the wall behind him, and I cast Major Image. The image basically has the wall collapsing, and behind it, in like dark fog, you see the big smiley face symbol.
The big, smiling, jagged mouth.
Ragged, thing. Yeah.
Pop major image in the chat, because I think it's like an investigation roll, right?
Magic action. Study action to your investigation.
Yeah, I think so.
Spell checks DC. Intelligence 4 plus.
A disadvantage, not that it sounds like it matters.
Oh yeah, 4, 11.
Obviously,
Yeah.
DC's 15.
Fails to meet that. So it was the stone wall breaking down and the black void with the giant purple jagged smile.
Yeah.
A look of terror and fear comes across Dranth's face as he starts to sort of like stumble and push his chair back.
What are you people? Freaks.
People you never think to meet again. I hand him like 4 gold coins and like lead him to the door. That's for some clothes to get you back into the office. Your clothes are a bit ragged at the moment, I presume.
He snatches the coins out of your hands and starts to limp towards the door.
For any of that, I mean, that's happening, right? But
Mm-hmm.
out of character, are we sure it's a good idea to just let him go back to the uppers and go back to the Zenith Institute? Before any of us going there and trying to snatch more information.
I mean, we could head there ourselves now because we know a shortcut he doesn't know.
So I mean, we go before him
Yeah, we could do that if we wanted
with
to.
no spells and stuff, because some of us are tapped out. I'm still not, but some of us are.
Or you could just, one of us could just disguise ourselves as someone and head in.
Going alone in a place where the other researchers are rather possibly stronger than us.
Just all turn into Levon.
Are you guys letting him go?
I believe I always let him go right now, yeah.
I mean, like,
He
But
posed
no
the question
defense.
to the group so many times
one
and like
said
no
anything.
one said anything.
it's kind of like, we can't just keep him here forever.
Yeah, literally. I was the only one not there, so
and
I couldn't
if
say
you're not up
shit.
for the alternatives, then it's the only option remaining.
I'll kill him.
I figured just spook him enough to not mess with us and let him go.
I
I
don't
think with the
I'll kill
information
him.
we've learned with Baranoth being dead, I don't think Dranth poses much of a threat to us anymore. Also, with him having
Ah.
seen what we're able to do, I think at this stage he's more scared of us than anything else.
But him going back to the institute and telling the rest of them what he knows, because he knows more about us. He literally knows that Zeni can fucking speak to dead people. As in, like, not speak to dead by the spell, but, in her dreams and stuff.
You casting Purging Bolt on him? Oh fuck, okay. That's a big fucking
out.
roll. A 5, 5, 4, and a 5. No, I mean like as
Zinni is pissed at this guy. Zinni
So-
hates his guts,
so
and the
can-
way that he treated Anxie is unacceptable.
So
I'm,
considering he's
Zinni's
walking out,
not okay with letting him go.
Considering he's walking out the door, I move to stand in front of the door.
as he was like walking across the room, I imagine Zinni's done this. The definitely does hit, and as Dranth is smacked with a bolt of dark green volatile energy, he
I hear that for
flat
sure,
into the ground.
right?
You do.
I'm barging in.
Can I cast Spare the Dying on him?
Sure. You
Why do you want to save him so bad?
What the fuck are you doing, guys?
Well,
He
I was-
deserves to rot.
Yeah, I don't
We're
think
not
he deserves to
murderers.
die, though. We're not murderers.
Why
Um,
would we kill him? He's useless to us.
So did the Spare the Dying leave him unconscious?
Yep.
Yeah, he should be fine.
It's stabilized, yeah.
I will also.
You guys are not
summon my Shadow
murderers.
Spawn.
I'm the murderer.
What did you say, Ale?
I'll summon my Shadow Spawn and put it between Dranth and Zinni.
Okay.
What are you doing, Andros? Why are you protecting this man? This despicable man.
I'd say you're the one being out of character here.
Okay, could we please have a conversation instead of fighting each other?
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk.
I don't
said,
accept that he just gets let off. I
I
don't
don't
care
think he
if
should
this
get
other
let
guy.
off, but he
I don't
shouldn't
care if this
fucking
other guy is
die.
dead. But like,
And I just agreed to let him go and let him stab him in the back. I don't like my word being, something like that.
well, it's not your word. It's I did it. You didn't do it. And the way he treated my friend is unacceptable, and the way that he spoke to me and acted remorseless throughout the whole period that me and Sid were talking to him, I think Zinni would want him dead.
But Zinni, I understand how you're feeling, but killing this piece of shit doesn't really, make it any better. It just makes you worse, because you would be killing someone that's not even worth such good deed. Yeah, he dies. It's over for him. But you would have helped that.
And then
Meanwhile,
he goes into the death realm. I see him in my dreams, and I don't let him pass on.
My only response to Zinni's whole rant is, try it.
or he can experience hell on earth and then go to hell again once he's dead.
I don't think we should be killing him. I don't think that's who we are. I think I don't want to be holding on to him. I don't want us to have to be running around or doing anything while looking after a prisoner. I think
You
at the
know
moment,
he's just going to be a problem later, right?
I
He's
don't
gonna
think
come
he
back.
will be. And we've dealt with him once before. We can deal with him again. And just given the fact that Baronoth is dead, Baronoth was the one leading this research, and from the notes that Anxie took and read to us, or shared with us, this was Baronoth's mission. It wasn't the Institute's mission. And with Baronoth gone, the Institute's going to be a little bit lost. I don't think Drant's going to try and fulfill Baronoth's mission, because by all accounts, he didn't know all that much about it anyway. I do think he should pay, I do agree, but I don't think it's for us to make the decision of how he pays. I think we should
He's
hand
gonna
him
be
into the
let go.
guards.
He at least should go to jail or something.
I think we should hand him into the guards.
For what? What evidence is there that he's done anything? The only thing that'll happen if we turn him into the guards is, he'll say we kidnapped him, which we did.
The evidence is Gwen.
The evidence is Gwen, yeah.
The evidence, the notes we have, it's literally written there.
Yeah,
You
we
see
have
what's happening in the institute.
we have
And
that
also,
evidence.
he wasn't the one who took her as well. He was only
Yes,
No, but he's an accessory.
and not only
Is-
he's the one probing her mind.
And
And
yeah,
it's written.
you just attacked him without cause as well.
I'll go to jail as well then. I could not care less.
I don't think
Okay.
we want any of us going to jail, especially not now. We've got a lot of things on our plate. I do think he should go to jail. I just don't know if that's something we should be dealing with right now.
We can hand him in now and then it's done. We don't have to think about him anymore. But I'm not letting him walk out of here.
He's not walking out of here.
Yes, well, I mean, not now, but...
Not now.
Yeah.
Is what I mean as well. I apologize. We definitely need to speak to the guards or even the Lord and try to figure out a solution for what's going on inside the Institute. Especially with Baronoth now gone, it's going to be a lot easier.
That's another thing as well. We're all assuming that Baronoth is dead. We don't actually know that it's Baronoth.
It doesn't...
We
matter
kind of know.
Is or not, okay, so do you want to just keep him here forever?
No, I want him to pay for what he's done.
He's
And
already paying.
if that's going to jail, then so be it. If that's death, then so be it.
So what he's done is he used some magic, and he annoyed. You know, he basically betrayed one of his friends.
That's nothing, you know. However, let's try to figure out a more permanent solution. Let's try to bring a close to this institute or make it an actual place for studies instead
Yeah,
of
take down the
whatever's
institute,
going on.
but don't just kill him.
I don't want to kill him. I simply don't agree with either of you. I don't agree with you letting him go, and I definitely don't agree with us killing him.
Well, I mean, I asked everyone, and nobody had objections to it. So
I wasn't here.
I've got ADHD in real life.
You can't make decisions with not everyone being here, to be fair.
I think we need to get him off of our hands sooner rather than later.
Yes,
I
I
do
think
agree
that's
he
the
needs
next
to
thing
pay.
that we do.
He's hurt an innocent woman.
no,
He's
yeah,
hurt multiple
how?
innocent people.
So bear in mind, he just cast a spell. He wasn't involved in the kidnapping directly. There's no evidence of that. The only
No.
evidence is that you have him in captivity.
We have evidence of him basically torturing a woman. And we have an evidence of him reading the minds of Shambors. And we have an
Okay.
evidence of him knowing that there is an actual Shambor inside of the institute. So he could definitely go to fucking jail.
We have enough evidence for him to go to jail. I agree.
It's just how we present it, because we currently can incriminate ourselves for sure.
You're making it sound black and white, and it's not black and white. Saying he just cast a spell and broke the trust of someone, like, it's not so
I'm
black
saying
and
the
white.
person who just tried to kill him.
Casting a spell is one thing, but he's cast a spell that's done damage to somebody. He's tortured somebody's mind.
And bear in mind, there's the whole story of the researcher who went against Baranov, literally getting disintegrated.
Yeah.
Do not say he was doing it under duress. Would ask him, but he's now unconscious with a scorch mark on his back.
He could say he was doing it under duress, but that's something for the gods to figure out.
We can use our good relationship with the Lord
We
to get
can.
him into jail.
You can't speak at the moment. Considering you just tried to kill him, you can't suddenly be like, oh no, now he needs to go to jail.
Bro, I've tried.
People can change.
Andros
Wait.
is such an innocent character. Ooh. We've tried to. I mean, we've knocked him unconscious multiple times.
We have.
This one time is no different to what we've done.
This is
Speaking of him
becoming
being
tiresome.
unconscious. Levant, what would you do? You know all the information. What would you do?
Well, for one thing, I'd encourage you all to stop arguing, because otherwise you're going to have quite a lot more difficulty kicking Nathaniel's ass before everyone else takes you down. In any case, the guards and the authorities of most any built-up city such as this one have ways of magically ascertaining the nature of the circumstances, detecting truth and manners such as this. The facts, insomuch as I understand them, are that based on reports that you obtained by presumably teleporting to the site, as best I understand it, you received intelligence that this individual had been involved in kidnapping an innocent and non-magical woman from her domicile and killing another individual in the process, even if he was not the person who took part in either of those things. He was the one who, in a sense, prompted the order, and then to that point he was her jailer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you want to present that to some kind of jury, formal or informal, and present a case in court there, then so be it. I would even testify to that effect, under duress of a spell telling the truth. But I implore you, come to some kind of decision, because frankly this arguing is getting tiresome. And
Is
it's at
Nick-
this point, Anxie, you're going to get a tug on the sleeve.
Okay, yeah.
And Nyx is looking, I would imagine, up at you, because Nyx is relatively short. Expectantly.
I use telepathic speech on them. On them.
Mm.
What's up, Nyx?
It's your choice what you do. I'd like to ask him a question as well.
You do? Okay. You want to tell me about it, or do you want to do it in... How do you want to do it, really?
If I could do it privately, I'd like to, but you haven't really been willing to leave us alone with him so far, so I'd understand if that's still the case.
I'd be very curious about it. But
It doesn't relate to any of this, it's just something I want to know.
that's the problem, that's why I'm curious about it. I've been curious ever since you wanted to help. Well, if you don't want to share, you don't have to.
But I'd still be allowed to ask.
I mean, I don't see why you shouldn't. How are you going to ask him?
They briefly flash a sheet of paper. There's definitely
Yeah.
something written on it, as though, like,
Do I
to
manage
show
to
that
see
they're
anything?
writing. I mean, it's a pretty quick motion, but I'm sure.
And
that
I'm a
says
quick
something.
reader.
Perception versus sleight of hand.
Okay. Ooh.
Now is the time you roll well. Come on. Never mind.
Yeah, that doesn't beat a 28.
Yeah, I'm sure, dude. Come on. It was worth a shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Nyx. I'm sure we can arrange it. However, waking him up now, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be pretty pissed. I look towards Baylor. Do you still have the ability to make this one rather awake?
I do.
Could you please do that? Our friend here would like to get some information on his own.
I'll cast a little healing word.
And I believe that they deserve to at least get that after helping us.
I've ticked it.
Okay, he's awake, I assume?
Well, it
Um,
needs to
It's
roll.
not showing how much health.
Oh, is it delayed coming into the chat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why are your spells so delayed, but all your checks and skill stuff isn't?
It's not always, it's just every now and then. I don't know why.
I mean, it would be at least a 1.
Yeah, so he Dranth stumbles to consciousness, stays laying on the floor.
Yeah. Sorry about that, I assume. See now, a friend of ours would like to ask you something before we actually figure out a way of you leaving this place. So please be nice and answer them.
He looks over at, I'm assuming, Nick stepping forward.
Yes. Bending down, like, right in front of him, taking up basically all of his vision, and paper against the chest.
He reads the question. What the fuck are you talking about? A stupid fucking question.
No,
Nyx's
be
expression
nicer.
Darkens. Writing on the paper again.
I don't just like. What kind of a stupid question is that? You do whatever you want with me. I know I'm not leaving this place.
Nix draws a dagger and throws it at his eye.
Ooh, roll to hit.
Can we stop killing the guy, guys? Come on.
We'll see what happens. Also, idle thing here. Let me just check something.
It's basically a melee attack. It's not a disadvantage. Don't worry about it. Just roll.
Fucking god.
Does it hit?
He's on the ground, like,
Finding
it
out.
must.
Yeah, it's a 25.
Okay. 1 second.
Spare the dime again.
I will say though, it was a low damage roll. Depending on the healing, he could be okay.
So
There's still no healing.
For some reason, the description is going to be by use Guardian Coil, so it takes 1d8 less damage.
Okay. What does the
There we go.
1d8 roll is?
Okay, so there.
5.
You got an 8 heal. I've reloaded, so
Okay.
Okay. Well, it only actually did. Oh, it is a sneak attack. It did 14 damage, so that brings it down to. He's on 1.
So, poof, a dagger gets thrown at Drant's eye. The tentacle swings in, bats it at the last minute, and like it, the dagger flings to the side and scratches across his face, leaving a big gashed scar. Oh, fuck.
Nix taps the paper.
Drant looks in your direction, eyes squinting, blood dripping across his face now and down his face as he lies sideways. He just barely fails at spitting in your direction.
And I think at that, Nix's patience is fully expended, and they toss the paper to one side and leave.
I'd rather. I'll probably try to take the paper, but also we'll try to stop them. So if
Anybody else want to stab him, poke him, set him fire? Yeah. So I think it's your turn, Balor.
I haven't hurt him one bit. Just so you know.
I mean, I
he's on
wasn't.
fire. I did try to punch him, but I missed.
It was a warning shot.
You hurt him mentally.
I was initially intending this to be a warning shot, and then I remember that Nix doesn't actually have minor illusion, so it literally was a dagger.
Yeah. Did you do 14 damage though?
12, not 14.
Oh, 12. I heard 14. Sorry. Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
good.
Once I see Nix trying to leave, I'll use telepathic speech on him. On them. Sorry. How are you doing? It doesn't really seem alright. Would you like to talk to someone, or
You
are
glance
done
at the
with that?
paper first.
If I have the time, if I don't, I don't.
I mean, you quickly grab it as they
Yeah.
toss to the sides.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you what it says, or I can message you what it says. It's up to you.
I'd probably hide it immediately, so you can message me. Yeah.
Okay. No
If anyone
problem.
asks, I'll probably tell them, depending on what it is.
And in your head, you'll hear. I've gotten involved.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Shouldn't have gotten involved.
I'm actually thankful you got involved. Sorry, it was rather disappointing for you.
I don't know what I expected. I don't think there was an answer that I would have been happy with.
Trust me, I expected a lot more as well.
Sorry, I didn't mean to lose my temper like that.
Oh, it's quite understandable. It seems like everyone's rather losing their temper around him, and he doesn't seem like the person I thought he was. So that's been eye-opening.
They never are.
Well, I guess we learn. You don't
what
seem
you
to
want
be.
with him.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for all the help. I definitely hide the paper once I get it. I hope I've gotten it rather sneakily.
Sure.
Do I have to roll a sleight of hand?
I don't think
check or
anyone's looking to try and spy what's on it.
Goody.
Is everything all right? Got to say, that's the most emotion I've ever seen out of you, Nix. Nix glances over at Levant and then just shakes their head and, unsurprisingly, doesn't actually answer. I don't know what I expected, honestly. Am I to take it this means that we're actually done here, unless there's some other way this group can contrive for me to not have to return?
You're more than welcome to stay. It just depends on whatever you want to do, honestly.
It's been an enjoyable little diversion, I will say that much. I don't know what his or their or anyone's deal, if I'm being honest, is, but we've apprehended him. You have a great deal more skin in the game than I do, so justice or whatever version of it that you decree to be justice is yours to mete out. He seems like kind of a prick, frankly, so I'm not going to raise a moral objection if you do kill him. But Zinni, I believe, I would counsel, and you can call this the advice of one adventurer to another. It's all too easy to venture down the dark path and just decide this person shall die, this person shall live, and you made the point that the world isn't so black and white. Render your judgments, but always take the time to render them. As irritating as your group's divvying back and forth on this matter has been at times, because I would prefer there to be some kind of conclusion sooner or later, it is the right thing to do, you know? To not just callously decide that one life shall end for one deed. No one would be left alive if we did that. But yes, I would kill Nathaniel if asked.
Do we trust that? Him killing Nathaniel if he can.
Roll insight. Ooh.
Do you actually love him? Enemies to lovers?
Oh, that would be so funny. It's just like, oh, this beef goes so much deeper. Hmm. Let's say it's an exaggeration.
Okay. Uh, well, thank you for all the help, Levant. It's been enjoyable.
Taz. I suppose I should ask at this point, since you were talking about some such like in respect to this and other things that are happening, do you need me to float the idea to Nathaniel that your group will need a stay of execution, shall we call it, on the arena fight while other matters are dealt with? Because I do think I could spin that to him. All I need to do is pretend that you're intimidated.
I'm sure he would believe that.
Oh, okay,
However,
yes.
I think things changed a bit, and we might be able to just attend the already agreed upon date. So I don't think you have to do any of that.
Well, that works for me, certainly.
You could potentially mention a gathering of sorts between all of us.
Yes, I recall you bringing this idea up. I think that would be a harder sell, because if we're being honest, that's the opposite of you being intimidated. Let's all meet and have drinks and hang out.
You can say that we are bearing apologies if that's gonna, sweeten the blow.
Are you?
I didn't do anything wrong, but,
Well, I can certainly raise the idea, but no promises on that one. I think just based on the things I've overheard him ranting and other things at this point, he will fully intend our next meeting to be on the battlefield, as it were.
And that's understandable. Oh, it's been great meeting you guys. You've been awesome.
You guys have been great. Thank you.
Got to say, your interrogation methods are unprecedented. But yes, it's been a worthy reprieve. Have you calmed down now, Nix? Are we done here? Are we leaving? Nix doesn't turn, but a quick, jerky nod. Well then, Wayward Wanderers. When next we meet, it will be as opponents.
Yeah.
Levant executes a sort of like... It's not the biggest of bows, but it does have a little bit of an ostentation to it, slightly florid. And then, pending anything else, he will leave, and after a moment, Nix, looking down and not really at anything, will follow.
Before Nyx leaves,
Mm.
they will hear in their head, "You're nothing like them." And that's it.
Nix pauses in the doorway for like a good 8-10 seconds. And as they start moving again, you hear, like, quietly, even for Nix over the mental connection. I really hope not. Thanks.
Right.
And with that, the Troubadours have left the Grey Zone.
The building. So now that we are a little calmed down,
There is still the
Andros
question.
is very not fun.
there, buddy. It's all right. You can spawn some more Shamburs. And well, I'm not saying that out loud. I'm not saying it out loud.
Be careful what you agree to.
Yeah, I'm not saying it out loud because Drant's in the room.
And still just barely conscious.
Well, I'm still not gonna
Bleeding
say it
from
in front of him.
Yeah.
I say it in his mind. There, buddy. You get to spawn some other stuff and chambers some other
I
time.
like telling Xi to
Oh.
shut up.
You're still giving him that blank check, just not allowed. Okay.
No, I'm just.
I give a
and-
thumbs
and
up.
I just asked him, what common sense is it that instead of saying you objected to him walking out of here, you decide to wait until we release him, and then try to kill
Because
him?
I wasn't fucking listening.
You don't hear that, but yeah. So some people deal with things differently, and we are bound to respect that. Let's not fight with each other and try to find a common ground instead. I understand your frustration. I understand her frustration, and I believe we should all just try and find a solution together.
No, because as soon as I let my guard down, somebody else is going to stab him.
You can stay in front of him and make sure no one hurts him.
Well,
I
I've
wouldn't
got-
touch him.
I've got my 2 summons next to him, either side.
I'd love to say it won't happen again, but I wasn't expecting to stab him.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, guys. What do we want to do first? Go to Hennert or go to the Institute again to gather more information?
I mean, I think we've got a situation we kind of need to deal with here first.
You can stay like this for like a day more. But yeah, we can. Or what do you mean?
What time is it?
It's
late.
starting to get dark outside. Which means it's already been evening for like a good few hours.
So we definitely should rest before going anywhere. Maybe not the Institute. If we go to the Institute, it's probably fine, but we are kind of tapped out to do that.
I'm not sure what we should do, but I think we need to either speak to the captain of the guard or speak to the Lord about taking Grant off of our hands.
First, you mean?
Yeah, I think we need to get Grant off of our hands as quick as possible.
Okay. Let's do that then. Let's get a rest, and first thing in the morning, we go to the Lord. How does that sound?
I think that sounds good.
Okay. And we need to take turns to make sure our friend Dran doesn't fall asleep either.
He still can't sleep.
Well, he's gonna get his fucking. I mean, wait.
No,
if
no,
he-
it's the correct decision. It's just funny in universe, It's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
when will you let me rest?
I mean, it really isn't, to be honest.
What isn't?
The whole. So basically, you're hoping that the amount of torturing you've done doesn't, is not as bad as the stuff he's done.
I've personally not done anything.
No, I mean as a group. I mean,
As
obviously,
a
I've not
group?
done anything, but I'm kind of pissed about it all.
Yeah, the thing is, we've had to make sure he doesn't run. So some of the the things that happened are based on that. Yeah, maybe we could have handled it better.
I mean, there's handling it better,
Well-
and there's also trying to kill him multiple times.
Okay, so your solution is to just let him go and not do anything about it. How's that helping any of the
My
situation?
solution is to let him go and take the institute down.
How are you gonna take the institute without killing people or going inside of it or
As in
doing anything?
going to the lords about the institute, legally.
Yes, but if we go to the institute to him about the institute legally, and we tell him about everything we know, it's bound to be found out that we actually took this man and kidnapped him because of
And-
the things he's done,
So
and he's gonna end up
And
telling his story as well.
isn't that what we're doing anyway by taking him directly to him? We're just kind of skipping a step.
Yeah,
Don't
but that's
think we should use the word kidnapped him.
yeah. Okay, sure, but
Citizen's arrest.
I love
Basically what
that.
we were saying.
Citizens
I mean,
arrest.
I didn't really, so Andros didn't really sign up for the whole kidnapping thing. He kind of was there to like rescue Gwen. You kind of get to do that on your own, really. So, it's obviously fair enough in the moment, but it's a fact that it's kept on going. At this point, you hand them over, they find out the story, we're likely to be the ones getting arrested.
It depends on how we sell the story. We haven't tortured him per se. We've kept him awake so that
When
he
you
can't escape.
have to tell the story, is that really something we want to be doing or known for?
Do you care about what you're known for?
Oh no, but I care the fact that I told him we're going to let him go, and then we tried to kill him.
And that's kind of on you. You promised him something we shouldn't have done.
Promised him that we were going to let him go, and nobody disagreed or anything like that.
Was I in the
somebody said
room?
no. I mean, did you provide a different solution? It's not my fault you left the room.
Yeah, sometimes emotions come to place, You gotta get out so you don't hurt someone.
Damn it, I should have done that. No. No, I'd regret nothing.
Decisions are supposed to be Gett's group. Yes, I agree, it must have been annoying people to not participate in the decision making, but you also didn't have everyone participate in it. And trust me, I would have had an opinion on it.
Okay, but
So,
out of
yeah.
character, in fairness to Andros and to Ale, both me and him tried to address this to the other two people in the group, and there's only so much silence that we can give before something's going to happen. We can't just sit here endlessly.
I agreed. I didn't say it wasn't,
Sure, but I'm
annoying.
getting both sides of the argument. Like, I get Zinni, like, you zoned out for the moment and didn't hear what was said.
And he wasn't listening, saw him leaving, just, oh no, you don't.
Yeah, but like at the same time, Ale did try, and I tried as well to get both your and Shift's attention, and none of you objected at the time, at least, to the idea. So you can understand why Andros is a little pissed at the incident now.
That's why I'm trying to calm him down.
Yeah. But I think if a resolution is going to be found, then the parties who have different ideologies need to be speaking up a bit more when these conversations happen. Tony, that's your cue to speak.
I don't really know what I meant to say.
I just think it's a bit rich that originally when I suggested we just kill him, everyone's like, oh no, and then you just tried to do it anyway. But it's a good thing if you do it.
I mean, that did happen before, funnily enough, but still.
Emotion is the antithesis of reason.
Let's have you guys talking now about what you think you should be doing with him.
I mean, that's the thing as well, is like, okay, yeah, I wasn't paying attention, I'm being DM'd by Jacob about shit.
Sure, yeah. And like, we're not holding it against you for that. It's just that, like, at the same time, you can understand why someone who was trying to get your attention is a little bit annoyed in it. That's fine. We can put that aside. But like, let's talk now about it, because this needs to get resolved somewhere.
That's the thing. Okay, so we were trying to decide and agree as a team what we should do after the fact. Yeah, it should have been spoke about prior when Ale was trying to speak about it, but I stopped him from leaving because I don't think he should just leave. And then we were trying to discuss as a team what we should do, and we were coming to an agreement that we should hand him in to the Lord or to the guards. And then we just get, I don't know, being spoken to like fucking arse, and that just it makes me angry. Like my tone is angry right now because of the way that I've just been spoken to.
In fairness, we do need to try and separate characters from the people to an extent, but at the same time, you didn't just stop him from leaving, you almost killed him, which again, like, was dramatic and cool, but like we still need to.
And I think Zinni has a good motive.
I mean, if you said,
Be pissed
"Ken,
at him.
no, let's not let him leave. We need to discuss this," I would have said, "Fair enough." It's the fact that you immediately jump to, let's kill him.
Because everyone's just like, yeah, he's just going.
Sure, but Zinni's the biggest, strongest gnome in the world. She can just stand in the doorway and he can't get through.
You just step over.
What? No
What
way.
the fuck?
The entire doorway.
He's exhausted as fuck. You can take him.
Well, so
I just shrug, dismiss the summons, and go to bed. There's no point arguing.
That's how we deal with arguments. Let's fucking go.
I'm not trying to argue. I'm just saying that we were trying to. Okay, yeah, I handled it poorly, and I admit that. And then after the fact, we were trying to come to an agreement as to what we should do. I don't know what else we're meant to do in that scenario. Like, obviously not be in the scenario in the first place, but
Sure. So let's pretend that Andros didn't just go to sleep. Let's actually like talk. Like, what are you going to be doing then? What is the course of action from here? What do you do with him? Like immediately, for like tonight.
we hand him into the guard, and I think we use our relationship with the Lord to.
There are
ensure he
certainly
gets locked
lies that
away.
you could spin so that he seems completely uncredible.
I don't want to lie though, but like I think we have enough evidence to put him away.
We don't need to lie. We've got enough evidence.
There are truths you can spin.
The thing is, we are at fault for technically kind of, making him not sleep for a few days and kind of trying to poop on him and stuff like that. But kind of have a reason for it, I suppose.
We had to make sure he doesn't escape, right?
Yeah, the no sleep thing for sure.
Considering as well, we were halfway around the world. If he escapes, what's he going to do? We had to bring him back for his own safety.
The thing is, we should go over how we're gonna present all of that to the Lord in depth. Because by doing so, by mentioning that we've been teleported somewhere else, we definitely add Carnelian to the picture. Because who the fuck teleported us out?
I don't think there's anything wrong with us adding Conan into the picture. I think that just makes us more credible, with the Lord especially.
We should definitely check with him before doing so, though. Some people might not be fine with that.
We can. My thinking is we need to deal with getting Dranth off of our plate so we can do the things we need to do as soon as possible.
We should do that first thing in the morning, in my opinion. I do believe that going now to the guards or to the Lord is a bad idea because it's late.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
So let's have a breather, let's fucking sleep, and once we wake up, we can start going our way. In the meantime, I can, try to contact Colonel and make sure he's alright with us telling that part of the plan as well.
Yeah. We also don't want to be carrying him through the city, so
yeah.
Let's figure out who it is who's going to go to the Lord.
Tunnels. We can literally just take the tunnel route. Because it gets out close to the Institute and near the Lord path. However, he might see the underground wall.
Yeah, and
we can cover his eyes.
We can. I'm okay with doing that. But to get to see the Lord with a prisoner like that, I don't know if the guards will let that happen. So it could be a thing of some of us staying out to keep an eye on him while some of us go speak to the Lord.
We could definitely do that as well, yes.
So a group of us stays with him and the guards at the Lord's mansion, and a group of us goes into the Lord's mansion.
Yeah. I believe maybe for the people that are gonna speak to the Lord, it should be you and Zinni.
I was thinking along the same lines.
Yeah, because you're the more likable people from the group.
I had a dance with him.
Exactly.
True.
And he likes the druids.
Exactly. So I think the two of you can, get the most out of it.
I think so.
Shall we get a rest and then start doing that? Anyone has objection with this plan or anything? It's now the time to speak up. Right, okay. Let's fucking go to bed and I'm gonna take the first watch.
All right. I'm gonna step outside real quick and look for a bird.
And you're gonna what? Sorry.
Look for a bird, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, look for a bit. Okay. Animal handling check.
I just want to prepare the method. Give me.
Sure.
When you go outside, are you looking around generally or just specifically for a bird?
Shut the fuck up, Jay.
Yeah, I jest, I'm gone, but it was fun to speculate.
So, Anksy's taken the first watch. Who will take the second and third?
I can go next.
Zinni second and third. Ale or shift? Which one of you wants to take that third shift? Or are you going to get Pinchy to do it because he's still in the room sleeping?
I'll take the third shift.
Okay. Well,
I'm also going to expend a wild shape charge and summon a little woodpecker.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him the same instructions. Keep Dranth awake. And wake us up if Dranth makes any moves toward the exits.
Okay. So. You're all sleeping here. And Anksy is taking first watch. While Dranth sits in a corner of the room with a woodpecker occasionally tucking at his head. Anksy, is there any conversations you want to have with Dranth during this time?
Not interested, actually. I'm interested in something else. Did I receive anything from my previous sending?
1 second.
Yeah, that's on you, brother.
Yeah, just shut the fuck up. Oh.
You had all this time while everyone was thinking about what they were going to do.
There you go.
Okay, it's fine. And now use... Oh, I'm hearing myself. Sorry. I'll use my Pearl of Power, which I haven't used in 2 days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna send another message his way.
Okay.
I'm writing it in my notes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
gotcha.
say it in front of everyone as well, just trying to make sure it's the exact number of words.
Shift roll your animal handling check. $25. You very quickly and deftly find some bird, nocturnal, flies down to you and listens to your animal message. And after you imbue it with a person and destination, it flies off in the direction of the Asamoah Woods.
Who's on first watch? Is it
Anxie is. So you come back inside and you start napping away.
I'll check on Gwen before I do.
Make a medicine check.
I'll use my inspiration to reroll.
You get one a day, and this is probably your last roll of the night, so.
Yeah.
14. The condition is still stable. You notice that she's starting to look a bit more thin and pale, given that she's not eaten in 2 days at this point. But her health hasn't really changed at all since you last intimately checked her like this. Still in this trance-like coma, as it was described to you. And then you head to bed. Actually, your shift passes without much of a need for anything.
Okay, the message that Cornelian gets is, we are going to talk to Henry about the Institute and the citizen arrest. Shall we avoid mentioning you helping with teleports, or should we speak before that?
You receive a message back rather promptly. And the message that comes to you is, I think it's best you leave my name out from all this as best you can, but maybe he already knows we're intertwined.
Okay. Who's second on watch?
It is Zinni. Zinni, as Anxie wakes you up for your section of the watch. Any conversations you want to have with Dranth? As he lays barely conscious in the corner with the woodpecker pecking at his temple.
I just glare at him.
I mean, good as any. He's already completely intimidated by you, so I don't even need to roll you to roll anymore. But a quiet and silent watch passes. Baylor, you're welcome for your third and final shift. Is there any conversation you want to have with Dranth?
No, but I am going to stare at him and flick a produce flame between my palms.
Okay. Like someone with a lighter flicking it on and off, Baylor sits there glaring at Dranth, flicking a produce flame on and off in his hand. Your watch passes without a hitch as well. All of you press the long rest buttons on your character sheets. Dranth will not be doing that. And with that, a new day dawns. With a concert of interesting highs and lows behind you, and a heated pseudo-interrogation and quarrel among the party. I think now is where the session will be drawn to a close. And we will pick up there next time.
Okay.